Hello there. This is the first in a series of videos that will show you how you can make a 4-bar loop in Bandlab Mix Editor. And this is very much similar to GarageBand and other pieces of software like that. And well, let's just get down to it. In this video here, we will explore how we can make a drum loop, and you can do that in several ways. So I'll show you a couple of methods here. So when you start a new project in Bandlab, you get this wizard in the beginning, and here you can choose what you want to do. So if you want to just make a fast drum track, maybe for sketching, maybe because that's how you want to do it, you can choose the drum machine here. It's very fast and easy to work with, so that's on the positive side. On the negative side, you cannot there's not so much editing afterwards, not so much mixing possibilities, so you cannot mix the individual drum sounds afterwards. So but it's very good for sketching. So let's have a look at it. So we choose the drum machine, and it opens up here in some kind of, well, it's sort of like just an 808 kit, which is a drum machine sound, and it's preloaded with patterns here. So if you press play, you should be able to hear already how it sounds. Yeah, so very 80s. So before we start, we should have an idea of what we're doing. So let's say I want to make myself some kind of pop song in a sort of like 80s style, something like that, maybe 90s style. So maybe I'll lower the tempo a little. It says 120 beats per minute. You can either you can type it in, or you can drag cursor up down to choose a tempo. So let's say 95 beats per minute. My time signature is 4x4, which is fine. Yeah, so we should be ready now. These two patterns here, I don't really need those, so I think I'll just delete them maybe if I can. So I right click here and delete. So I want a free workspace here, and I don't want the 808 kit, so I'll choose another drum machine instrument here. So I'll go for a drum kit, not a sort of like a drum pad. And yeah, well, you can check them out. You can hear a bit of what they sound like here. But some of them sound fairly good. I think I'll go with the classic rock set here. Yeah, so the pattern here, that the preloaded pattern here might not be what I want, so you can clear the pattern. I'm not sure if there's an easy way to clear the full pattern here, but otherwise you can simply click on the dots and they'll disappear. Sorry. So what I want is I want a kick drum here, and I want it on 1 as it is here, and I want it on 2, and on 3, and on 4. Let's start with that. So that's a simple. This goes really nice here. Careful with your touchpad. maybe it's better to use a mouse. Okay, so furthermore, I would like a snare drum. Let's see if I can find my snare drum. It should be probably... No. Is this the snare? This is the snare, I think. So, oh, by the way, I don't want my kick here. I want a snare. So I'll give it a snare. That's not a snare. There. And I want it on 2 and 4. And maybe furthermore, I want it on the 8th note after 2. So it sounds like this. It's a bit slow, so I think I'll raise the tempo a little. Let's give it 110. Maybe even 120. So you can correct this as you go on. Okay, and furthermore, what we have, O is the closed hi-hat. Here is crash cymbal, open hi-hat. You can change the sounds here. So if I wanted a right cymbal instead, I could choose it here. So I think I'll go with the right cymbal, and it should go on the 8th notes. So this gives me the basic pattern. Okay. Maybe add a little flavor to it. I'll add some 16th notes here. And you can keep on adding stuff. What do we have? Cowbell? No. It's a little restricted here, so there's stuff that you can't get. Okay, so I'll add this here. So this is my pattern A now. So I've written over the original pattern A with my own. So now you can hear it up here. And it's only 1 bar long. So if I wanted it to be a 4-bar pattern, I could simply loop it out like this. That is the easiest way to do it. Fine, works. Okay, but let's say that I wanted more control over my drum sounds. So in that case, I would have to approach this in a different manner. So I'll mute the drum machine track now. I don't have to delete it. I can just mute it so I can't hear it. I'll add a new track. This time I would go for a MIDI instrument instead of a drum machine. So I choose the MIDI instruments. Initially it always starts with a grand piano, but I don't want a grand piano. I want percussion sounds. So I'll change the sound here to drums, drum kits. And if I want something similar to what I just had, I could choose the classic rock set here. Yeah, so now I have a rock set. Remember to change the instrument name here. This time I will separate all the drum sounds into tracks. So here I'll just have the kick drum. So I'll name it kick. And the kick drum here can be triggered by the pedal here, which is a little, well, I don't know if you want to use your mouse pad on that. You can also trigger it by using the keyboard S, which is perhaps more precise. So let's try to record a similar pattern. I just had the kick on 1 and 3. Before I start recording, I'll turn on the metronome. And I like 2 bars of counting. Count in, not just 1 bar. It's because I'm old and slow, so I need 2 bars to get the tempo. So let's try. So I could choose to record all four bars, or I could also choose to record just one bar and then roll it out like I did here. But I think I'll make a 4-bar recording. Okay. Let's have a look at how precise I was playing. So if I press the MIDI editor down here, I should be able to see what I recorded. If I scroll down, so here it is. As you can see, I hit the 1 and the 3, but not so precise. If you look here, if you have the cursor, you can select the notes here. You can also draw them in directly. If you choose a pen, you can draw notes here. That's another way of doing it. But I find it, if you know what you're doing, it's much faster to record it like this. Okay, it's not so precise. So I select all the notes, and then I use this quantize here. And the quantize means that it sort of like it puts the notes in the correct place, and I want it to snap to quarter notes. So the nearest quarter note, I press the quantize, and you can see it drags the notes to precisely the correct positions here. So it sounds like this now. Works nice. Okay, so I'll do that again. I could open a new track, find the instrument again and stuff. It's much easier to choose the kick track and duplicate it. I'll mark this and let's press delete to remove it and rename it. And this time I want to make myself a snare track. Okay, so I'll do the same again. Although this time I could also try to let's just do it in the same way. It's faster. So the snare is F. If you choose G, you get the rim, but you want the real snare sound, so you can press F on your keyboard. Okay, so I'll try to see if I can record the snare. Oh, there we are. And again, press the MIDI editor, and you can see again it's not completely precise. So I'll select all the notes, and this time I'll quantize it to 8th because I have the ghost note here. So I choose 1/8 quantize, and I check that it's snapped to the correct notes here. It looks okay. I can also hear it. Yep, nice. And again, duplicate. And this time, I want the right symbol. So I delete the content here. I have the same drum set. Instrument, the right symbol is over here. Again, you can choose two sounds. You can choose the P, which is the actual symbol. You can also choose O, which is the bell of the symbol. Sounds, oh, might be a 0. P sounds different. So you can play around with changing the sound here. Okay, let's see if I can record this. Needs more precision though. Here we go. I can hear already that this will give me trouble. So I think what I'll do is I'll set the volume, or sorry, set the tempo a little lower to help me play more precisely on the keyboard. The laptop keyboard is not the best recording instrument. It would be easier if I had a real MIDI keyboard. Let's try again. Yeah, I did some funny stuff here. Let's try to quantize it again. If I want to select all a lot of notes here, so I could press Control A to select all the notes, and I need to quantize to 16. So now I will definitely get into trouble, but I can correct it manually. So here we are. It looks strange here in the beginning, for example. So I'll drag the first note. Drag the first note to the 1, if I can. There. This 16th note is not correct, and I need one here. Yeah. Also here, things are a bit weird. Let me check. That one there belongs. Why is it snapping to the 8th? I need it to snap to the 16th notes. Maybe if I zoom out a little. Check again. I need one there. Not that one, maybe. Yeah, well, you get the picture. That one there goes here. And then I think the rest is okay. Yeah, okay, so here you have it. So as you can see now, I separated the drum kit into 3 tracks. It's more time consuming, but now I have control over every single track. And for example, if I wanted the cymbals to sound more natural, I could select them all now. Control Alt or Control A, and you can press the Humanize button here. It makes it a little more imprecise. Maybe it places it a little off the beat, so it sounds like a human hand playing this. I don't know if it's possible to hear it. Probably not. Furthermore, you can also you can change the volume of a single note. And how is that possible? Let me see now. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. The note velocity here. So if you press the V here for velocity, you can change the velocity for chosen notes. So for example, if you want accentuating on the beats, you can lower the volume of the off beats here. So etc. So here's for the first two bars. So let's hear if we can hear it. I'll solo this so we can hear how it works. and without the metronome. A little drastic maybe, so you can change it to your liking here. Maybe I did a little too much. But you get the idea. So how does it sound with the full kit? Sounds weird, but yeah. Play around with this. Oh. Maybe this is better. Yeah, somewhat better. Yeah, and finally, if you want, you can add a little reverb, for example, to, let's say, the snare drum. We want reverb on the snare drum. Gives it sort of like a room sound. Also do it to the right. When you look at the instrument here, you can see that the right cymbal is placed to the right of the drummer. So if you were in the drummer's position, you would hear it as if it sounded as if it was coming from the right. So you could pan it a little out to the right. Keep the snare and the kick drum in the middle. All right, so there it is. Put the volume, put the tempo back to 120. Yep. So that's your drum track for you. And of course, you can make it much more complicated than this. You can yeah, for example, you could say I wanted a crash. Can we find a crash here? Pedal hi-hat, 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 hi-hat. Right bell, the cowbell. Should be a crash somewhere. Ah, you can see it, of course, here. So the crash is 6. So we could add a crash here on 1 if you want it. But you can fool around with that. Yeah, that was all. Bye.